Hey there, Daniel.
Hey, thanks for having me. Daniel Sternklar with View3D.tv. And let's see, who the heck are we? Okay. I'll give you the just a 2-hour intro to our company. Well, we tackle modern business challenges, standing out, engaging audiences, and driving growth head on. We have over, 40 years of experience, how time flies, and we transform obstacles that business face into opportunities for innovation. And our services are just really wide. Over 40 years, you get a lot of tools developed. Yeah. And that's something that makes us unique. We actually do research and development and software development as well. And so we actually create new technologies that help businesses grow. And many service areas such as personalized interactive video, mixed reality applications, custom AI assistants, avatars that can speak 100 languages.
I love that.
And in fact, that's actually starting to grow. And they're designed to deeply engage your audience and amplify your brand's messages.
Yeah.
And our track record shows consistent success in significantly boosting client revenues, which is important. Yes. And choosing View3D.tv means partnering with a team committed to turning your business challenges into major successes. So start your journey with us. Our innovation is your growth engine, and we make you known, found, and paid. And there's, I guess, the little advert. I guess I should be to give, but just to give folks an idea. So our client base is extremely wide. We actually started with enterprise clients first, which is a long story. But we have a passion for working with solopreneurs and small business. And our objectives, actually, thanks to our large clients paying full freight, we have special pricing for small business and solopreneurs. We are trying to sort of disrupt the industry a bit and make new technologies affordable even for solopreneurs. I've seen it happen even to ourselves. Some great new tech comes out, and we're like, oh wow, can't wait to try to use that. And yeah, unless you're Shell Oil, you won't be able to afford it. So we're trying to change that and finally give small business, to put them on a different type of level of a playing field that they're normally not used to.
Yeah, and that's so powerful, Daniel. That's what I love about your products is you really do help the small business owner, and we're always trying to find new ways. And to be honest, your technology just amazes me. And I can see how you really focus on those of us who, may just have a few people on staff.
Or no staff at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And some of the solopreneurs out there, they have amazing services and capabilities and support their clients in a way that, even some of the, Fortune 50 companies just can't. That's I love finding those diamonds in the rough. So it's fun for us. Fortunately, we're in a position where we don't have to go out and look for work because we have, work probably for the next 20 years already assigned to us. So we're truly trying to go out there and help. And
well, and that's what comes across with you, Daniel, every time is, your commitment to service. And I think you really love what you do.
Oh, yeah, this is a blast. I haven't watched the clock yet in, over 40 years. And I guess that's a good indicator right there. If I start watching the clock, that's trouble. I actually look forward to, quote unquote, going to work. Yeah. There's always something new that we're developing. Or we do a lot of alpha beta testing of new hardware and software as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we get access. In fact, we've had access sometimes to products 3-4 years before they were released publicly.
Wow.
And obviously we're under heavy non-disclosure about all those things. But what is great is we get the knowledge and we kind of steer some clients in different directions sometimes. And sometimes I get the question like, well, why do you want us to do things that way? And I'm like, well, in about a year and a half, 2 years, you'll find out. So it really gives us a big leg up. And like I said, we do our own R&D as well. And when we alpha beta test, we really contribute to those projects in terms of giving feedback and what they may or may not need to change or enhance this, enhance that, drop this, drop that. And you guys just can't believe what's coming. you haven't seen nothing yet.
Well, and what I love about what you do, Daniel, is that it really does involve engaging the audience.
Yes.
And understanding that. And that's been one theme throughout this summit, has been that, people want to engage and to interact, and that's what you do. So I always talk about personal branding as 3 dimensions. And so View 3D TV is just, boy, I'm tired.
Yes, we're out there. And actually, View3D.tv is actually part of a family of companies I have.
Could you talk about that?
Yeah, I have an IT company. Clearstar International is the original company. Still exists today. View3D.tv spun out of that company.
Okay.
And that's more sort of the IT side, high-end database work, expert systems, software development, app development, whether it's desktop, mobile, etc. Music production company, and some other companies. But basically what I was looking for was I wanted to get all the different skill sets under one roof for creating virtual reality applications, which is sort of the top of our pyramid in the way in terms of we all get together for a VR app because you need programming, you need a database, you need video, you need stereoscopic video, you need animation, you need 3D modeling, you need music, you need sound effects. So I was looking to basically get a family of companies together to have all these different skill sets. So each works on its own projects, and then we come together for VR apps. Maybe I'll show this first, just to give folks an idea. We do custom AI assistants that can have all sorts of different looks. This look is sort of fun, the old Matrix sort of background. And this is one of our...
I didn't even recognize it. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. So this is one of our custom AI assistants we built for ourselves. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is we have built some AI assistants for book authors. So literally, the AI will take the whole book. We can take it in a PDF form, Word form, various other file formats. And literally it learns all the content in the book. And what's interesting is you can ask it questions like, tell me the 5 sales tips. We worked with an author that built or wrote a book about sales tips and networking and so on. And the other thing that I found incredibly interesting about doing that was with the audience, the results were bi-directional in that people who had the book could go to the AI and maybe ask for some clarification about some points in the book, or even ask it, hey, could you summarize, this subject? And people who don't have the book go to the AI to ask it questions, and then they're like, hey, that information is pretty good. Maybe I should buy the book.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
So I find that it's interesting how we've seen just a lot of bi-directional results like that. And so book authors that maybe have some fears of AI or whatever, it can actually enhance interactions with your material. And maybe, I should say this little phrase is, some fear that AI will make them redundant or be replaced. However, this fear is misplaced. It's not AI itself, but individuals who harness AI effectively, enhancing their capabilities. Those are the ones that will grow and outpace the competition.
Yeah, and you're right. There is a lot of fear around it, and I think it's a matter of understanding it and learning.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that have watched Terminator too many times. They're expecting AI to start launching missiles all over the place. And there was an article, I guess, in Time. The government did some study, and obviously the people who are doing the study were definitely, biased against AI. They want all kinds of restrictions, like how dare you use this much computing power to build your models, and it'll be really sad if any of those restrictions come to play, because guess what? Other countries aren't going to do that, and especially our adversaries. So if they start restricting that, that's going to put us off balance. And unfortunately, any tool can be misused. And there's a lot of people out there that purposely try to bend ChatGPT, for instance, to give results that are, very negative or insult people or whatever. And they're purposely doing that to say, oh, look, you see how bad it is? You see how bad it is? And then what's bad is in the way they start polluting the data set, where it starts learning some of those things. So, the dark side is always going to try to twist things.
And there will be people who misuse it. I mean, that's
it's a given.
Absolutely.
In fact, a while back, I actually was interacting with the Senate committee, and they were very concerned about deepfakes. And deepfakes are even crazier now, where basically with a bit, few minute samples of voice and video, you can basically make any candidate say whatever you want.
Oh yeah,
part.
and
probably for most people won't see the difference, unless you really experienced. And unfortunately, those are all true concerns. There's always going to be somebody to misuse things, but on the flip side, deepfakes can be for fun. Like, I can do a video. I'm sitting next to Captain Kirk in the Enterprise.
Yeah, that's great.
Or there's been somebody putting out videos where he's replaced actors with other actors. What if this actor played this role?
Oh, that's great.
And one guy's been doing like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all kinds of different roles. You can find them on YouTube. There's quite a few. Great. So there's a lot of fun things that can be done, for fun. But the government might go overboard and say, "Oh, all deepfakes are illegal or whatever."
Yeah, I hope they don't go to that extreme.
Right. I mean, obviously, anyone who does something to produce a result that's that's not true. That's one thing. Or recently there was a story about some actors promoting products that obviously they were not promoting. It was a deepfake. So those actors should be able to take legal action against those folks. I totally agree with that. Obviously.
Yeah.
But if I want to have Tom Hanks wish a friend happy birthday for fun, that's one thing. But if Tom Hanks is recommending, oh, you should buy interactive video from View3D.tv right now, that would be a problem. Exactly. So I hope there might be some semblance of reality in the folks that make the rules, but probably not, because so many of them have zero understanding. And they tend to go overboard. So I guess enjoy things while we can, and maybe get ready to move to a different country. No.
Well, I've been considering that.
But we'll see what. Hopefully, that report that came out that really was taking an atomic bomb to the problem. Essentially.
Yeah, and
hopefully they don't get that restrictive. And some of the AI executives, they're like, "Oh, please regulate us, please regulate us." They think they're trying to do a preemptive strike to sort of make suggestions, but unfortunately, when they're doing that, they don't realize who they're talking to, and they may be surprised at the results. But anyway, those of us who are using it in a way to grow businesses and have some fun, let's talk about that aspect. But I guess I had to sort of touch on that.
I think that's a very good point, because it obviously, now I don't understand AI, on your level, but that fear of it doing them in or of a problem is usually just not informed.
Well, and people don't realize all the positives that have happened already. Not only for business, but the medical community is going crazy with those. And
you have a background in that too.
Yeah, in fact, ChatGPT recently found a new approach to treat certain cancers that was never thought of, as an example. And there's all sorts of things going on. It also came up with potentially a new way to produce batteries that would be great for electric cars, for phones and everything else. So there's so much going. It's going to revolutionize basically all fields: teaching, obviously, medical, forestry, anything you can think of, analyzation of data. And also, the other thing that people are all worried about is, what about the military using it? Well, if they use it and basically come up with a plan to, attack their targets with less, less civilian casualties, that's a good thing, for instance.
Yes.
Versus, having, as they would say, collateral damage, So even for military, that people are, concerned, and be concerned, but the thing is, if they're more efficient and better targeted, and you have less innocent deaths, that's a good thing.
That's an amazingly good thing.
And analyze satellite photographs better. There's all sorts of things in that whole arena too. But
it's just something that we don't have to necessarily be afraid of. We do have to be aware that it can be misused.
Yes, and and even for those who think they're going down a proper path, sort of make sure what's happening.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here I thought I'd show. This is one of our custom AI assistants that we built for ourselves for View3D.tv, and it actually has several unusual features you won't see in other AIs. Now some of the others they're starting to add voice recognition and voice output, which was something we did a long time ago. And I like voices of accents. I typically use accent voices, and also when it gives a reply, it will actually randomly choose between several voices. Every now and then when you do a different query, you may hear a different voice, which of course I do for fun. It also has voice recognition, and you can also download the session. So once you leave the AI, you have all the info that you can take with you. And actually the other thing we do is we show sample prompts to give people an idea of what you can ask. But you can freeform ask anything. And one thing I thought that was kind of fun to do was ask the AI what are the benefits of having an AI. Well,
yeah, exactly. I've done that with ChatGPT. So tell me about yourself.
That's right, exactly. And so we'll see what it comes up with there. Sometimes OpenAI is a little busy.
You asked top 10 advantages of a View3D.tv AI assistant. Creating a custom AI bot utilizing content from a website and documents offers many advantages for businesses, individuals, and institutions alike. Here are the top 10 advantages of using a View3D.tv AI assistant. 1. Enhanced user experience. Instant responses to user queries make the experience.
Anyway, so I can pause that and I could download the session and I won't bore folks with having it read the whole thing there, but and obviously it's any AI assistant doesn't have to be ours, but of course ours is better.
Yes, absolutely.
But now, actually, here's the thing that's unusual about ours is that we actually can have multimedia replies, not just text. So if I say show an interview I had, it actually brings up the video.
Wow.
And also, if I say I want to set up an appointment, it will actually bring up my appointment system.
Oh, that's great.
So it does quite a bit more. Or let's say I want to see an interactive video demo. It actually will bring that up. And here's a little bit of a more creative use of we actually have some AI music technology, and I have a choir that I can make sing whatever I want.
That's great.
So this choir will sing hello from View3D.tv.
Hello from View3D.tv. Hello from View3D.tv. Hello from View3D.tv.
So there's another fun use of AI.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so we have a sort of several different type of choir models.
Yeah, I can tell you, Daniel, you love this stuff so much. I mean, it's like those of us who get to work in a way that we love.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be working. It's like, oh, it's light. Oh yeah, neat shadows there in the woods, and oh wow, look at the moon. It's nighttime. Oh wait a minute, it's sunrise. I think I forgot
right.
between.
Yes, and that does happen, and it's wonderful when it does. It's not great when you're up at night worrying, but it's really great.
Oh yeah, exactly. So so there's another creative use of AI tech. A lot of people are concentrating on images, and some people are starting to become aware of music possibilities and other creative areas. And it's funny because I had some particular clients hear this, and they're like, "Oh, can you write a jingle for us?" And so that's been happening. We can bring up a whole orchestra and all kinds of other instruments as well besides the choir, and I can actually say what voices go to which speaker. Like if you have a surround sound system, like a 9.2 system, I could say, these voices go there. Trombones are over that way, and drums are over here.
So you get to be a composer too.
Yes. That's my another thing we're involved with as well. So anyway, I almost was going back and forth if I wanted to reveal this or not, but we have some interesting techniques that
Okay.
hopefully you haven't seen anywhere else. And I guess for brevity, maybe I'll just go ahead with a session that already happened. As many of you know, ChatGPT itself, the raw vanilla version, what is 3.5 or 4, even if you have the subscription, it can't access the internet. However, there are plugins like WebPilot, and now WebPilot's been converted to an actual custom chat GBT, which can access the internet. So you can actually ask it questions about a website, for instance, or you can ask it to even summarize a document, which is pretty neat. Well, okay, maybe I won't bother showing that right now because time is sort of short and probably will get away from me. But also, though, you're sort of at the mercy of WebPilot because sometimes it gets really busy because people are using it, and it's one of the few ways to get to the net. So here's another interesting way that you can get web content to ChatGPT without actually using internet access plugins of any kind. Besides WebPilot, there's web browser. There's many others now. WebPilot was one of the first ones. So what you can do is we'll do this experiment with I just kind of randomly pick veterinary practice in the area. Now there is and I'm sure there's many other plugins, but there is a particular plugin for Chrome called Fireshot. And what Fireshot will do is it can save a whole web page to a PDF. And there's a free version. Of course, they have a pro version, and there may be other free Chrome plugins out there that convert what you see on your browser to a PDF document, and it will actually scroll through the whole document. Or the whole web page. It's not just converting the PDF what you see. It will actually scroll all the way down on its own.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's very important, obviously.
Yeah.
And you activate the plugin, and you just there are many options on the pro version, which I have here, but basically you say capture that page, and you see it scrolling down. And then, well, actually, you won't be able to see because I think that window's going to open on a different screen here. But then basically it will save it as a PDF. So now suddenly you got web content that you can send to ChatGPT 4.
Yeah, got it.
Because if you notice, here's the little paperclip.
I'm looking for
and you can collect that and then upload that document. And also, actually, WebPilot only, if you have a website with many pages, it doesn't follow the whole tree of the website. It just does that one page. So if you really want to get a good overview of a particular company or prospect, you have to give it multiple URLs. And the same thing with converting some pages of a website to PDF. You'll have to go to several links, because now this is a way you can learn about a potential prospect without knowing a thing about them or even a thing about the industry. So you can see here, I did a couple pages of this veterinary practice. Let's see, maybe should I make it bigger?
A little bit, yeah, that works.
I don't know if you can actually read it, but
I can read it.
Okay, so you can see 4 icons for for the 4 pages I happen to pick off the website, and this is also great for LinkedIn or Facebook.
Yeah,
because guess what? Even if you use WebPilot, it will say, can't access the LinkedIn pages because you need to be authenticated. And with Facebook, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I guess depending if somehow the authentication session is still somehow open that it can recognize. And of course, this will be true of many other social networks, or if you're working with a particular client. For instance, we're working with somebody in the insurance industry, and you have to log in to see any of the website content. Well, there's no way that ChatGPT can get to that content. And it's a bit laborious, but we actually have an automated process that we use where basically it will download the whole website as a series of PDFs, and then we can upload that.
Oh, that's great.
So this is a great trick. And also the other thing that's great about it is, let's see. I guess I don't still have it open. I'm sure some of you may know that besides ChatGPT, there's another AI called Claude. And at this point, the public version doesn't have internet access, but guess what? It lets you upload documents. So now suddenly Claude can analyze content from the internet.
Oh, yeah.
You save it as a PDF, upload it, and go to town.
That's great.
So that's a huge benefit, needless to say. So the other thing I want to get into is, a lot of people are using very simple prompts. They're a line or two.
Mm-hmm.
Those, can produce great results. However, you can also get really specific, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude, and actually have like paragraphs of prompts before you basically send this prompt to ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here I uploaded all these PDFs, which are basically separate pages on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, analyze these documents and come up with a marketing plan.
Oh, nice.
And of course, in our case, we say, for selling personalized video and lead generation services, scale it to the business. Now, the rest of this is actually still the prompt where I'm saying we want an executive summary. And then I actually go into a little bit of detail what that executive summary should include. I say, do a market analysis, come up with persona development.
Yeah, I love that.
What are the unique selling propositions? What are the service offerings?
Yeah.
What kind of marketing and sales strategy should you have? What kind of content marketing plan, social media strategy, email marketing plan, and so on?
Mm-hmm.
That is all a prompt.
That is terrific.
And then ChatGPT comes back and actually is basically filling in my request for all those, outlined items.
Wow.
And this is without knowing a thing about the veterinary world or that particular client.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even mentioning doctors from the website.
That's great.
So it comes up with the executive summary, the market analysis, what the unique selling propositions are, talking about their service offerings and so on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you could actually ask it for more details about all those items that came up with to go into even more detail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also a lot of this, you may want to use several different type of prompts, even though you're sort of looking to try to get the same result, and then sort of combine all the results together. And then I even, something that's you should keep in mind when creating prompts is also tell it who it is. So like here, for instance, I said, as an expert in cold emailing, and it actually helps it give you a better response when you tell it who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had it come up with like an example email to send out to new prospects, and that wrote the whole letter.
So you're using the prompts in ChatGPT.
Yeah, and it's remembering the documents that I had uploaded.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm still working with that set of data.
Yeah, and that's something that I didn't realize at first because we were still on the 3.5 ChatGPT. And so I knew people were doing this really cool stuff, but I couldn't figure it out. And it was because, they had 4.0.
Right. It's a huge difference between those two.
Yeah. And I'm really excited about it because, now I know I can do all those things that I've been watching other people do. Right.
And there are actually several versions of 4. But that's more you access it more if you're a programmer. Where you can sort of specify which version of 4 you want to use. Mm-hmm. And also keep in mind this Claude. And you can actually take some of this data and send it to Claude and see what Claude comes up with.
Yeah.
And I actually love sometimes combining the results from several different AIs. And then you have things like Perplexity and Poe that on top of the engines let you use different models. And different models basically learn data in different ways. And some of the models, they're specifically geared, to particular subject matter, where it's, it knows medical journal data or a model that specializes in just SEO alone. ChatGPT will give you like general responses, but a model that's like specifically trained, like let's say an SEO, will give you different type of results.
Wow, that's great.
So using different models sometimes can make a huge difference as well. Okay, so wrote me an actual sample letter here that I could send out. And then I said, okay, I looked at all these documents. In order to learn more about this particular client, and once again, let's say I know nothing about the veterinary industry, etc. This is another, kind of long prompt that's, like a paragraph. but I'm specifying basically, hey, give me 10 questions I can ask the client to help me learn more about them.
Oh, I used that for the first time recently because it was a different industry that I'd ever taught. And I said, so what are the questions that somebody in this industry,
right?
And it worked beautifully. I came up with exactly the right questions.
Yeah, exactly. So here I'm saying, questions that deal with the characteristics and needs of the customers, the experience of the staff, the unique services they offer, and so on. So, and then it gave me responses, about trying to understand who are their customers. What do I need to learn about the staff? What do I need to learn about the services offered? So it's always important. I mean, I always look at consulting. It's like you're an investigative reporter. And when you're dealing with a client, so much of what they know in terms of how they work their business, it's so 2 + 2 to them that very often they fail to mention things to you unless you ask them the right questions.
Yeah.
Because to them, it's just like, it's normal day to day, and they won't even think to tell you X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And when you're missing that information, that could be incredibly detrimental to a project.
Yeah, I would think so. And I keep going back to something that my mentor said, that ChatGPT AI wasn't going to put you out of business, but it may help somebody else be much better at that business.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. It's to augment your own capabilities. Look at it that way. It's, and whether you're a writer or an artist, guess what? It will help a writer be even better.
Yeah.
And it may help you outline things or, write different things that maybe you hadn't thought of. And then you'll go and expand on that with your talent. In a sense, it gets some of the busy work out of the way for you. Just like when we went from typewriters to word processors and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daniel, I go back so far that my first computer was a Commodore 69.
A 64.
64, yeah, 64.
Yeah.
Commodore 64. And then I got the bigger one that was like 120 or something.
Yeah, the 128. Yeah, no, I've been there.
Yeah.
And did you ever get the Amiga? That was a great computer.
No, didn't get that one.
In some ways, it's even some of the concepts in that machine are even ahead of some of the current stuff in some ways. Yeah. But anyway, so it actually puts together questions for you about the services. There we go. And then here's the other question that can often come up from a client. Well, how do we know what you do is going to really work for us? So actually, I asked ChatGPT this very question: I reviewed all the materials. How can I prove my marketing plans will bring them results?
Wow, love that.
So it actually comes back and tells me how I can prove that what I'm doing is working.
Wow.
So benchmarking and goal setting.
Yeah.
Basically it's getting into all the analytics of your marketing plan. But it gets pretty specific on things. And how you communicate and so on. And some of these things that come back also, like if you're new to the consulting business as well, this is a great learning tool.
Yeah.
It's actually helping you learn, well, what kind of questions do you ask? How do I show a client what I'm doing is working? I mean, these are all important questions and things to learn about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, whether you've been working for 40 years in the industry or, you just started last week, it can come up with things that may remind you, oh, yeah, that's right, I should put that in the document. So, don't think, if you're an expert in the field that you won't learn anything as well. I always keep an open mind. Okay, and then, of course, this was actually then I asked in a different way, sort of the same thing, to put together a marketing plan. But here once again, I told it who it was. And I said, hey, you're an expert business marketer, content, video script, and SEO expert. And once again, provide a breakdown of essential components of a marketing plan and how to write a proposal. And once again, told it to utilize, of course, interactive video, social media content for typical, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And what about an AI assistant? And describe how this approach will grow the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so once again, since I gave it a detailed prompt, I'm getting detailed answers.
That's great,
And it
Daniel.
actually gives me a whole breakdown and actually starts to write a proposal for me. And then I did something for fun, which is kind of interesting, is a lot of people forget they can ask ChatGPT to write prompts for them. And also by doing that, very often you learn how to write better prompts yourself.
That's great.
And here I kind of did it in general. Wasn't related to the veterinary practice, but I said, let's see, here we go. Let me scroll back up. Yes, I said, what are the absolute coolest, most mind-blowing out-of-the-box prompts that really show off the power of ChatGPT?
Oh, wow.
Full-blown marketing plans that include social media content, creation, and even though I misspelled content, it's still
It's okay. It still got it.
yeah, interactive video scripts and tips. And so it actually came up, with some wild things here, but it actually came up with prompts that I could actually give ChatGPT, which in turn would give me answers.
Mm-hmm.
And even though some of these are not, for instance, not related to the veterinary practice, actually I could have said created for the veterinary practice.
Sure.
Specifically, but here I just did general ones just to show
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
It also will give you ideas for any other industry. And then, of course, I asked it, hey, what kind of augmented reality applications could I create that would make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it came up with a list of those. And many of these, I would say are valid possibilities. Yeah, it would be neat to have, AR,
Mm-hmm.
AR diagnosis explanations. I could do the typical fitting room stuff where I could see how my dog looks wearing that sweater. Training workshops, memorial walls. I mean, there's just so many different things that can be done. And then in turn, going back to the veterinary, I said, hey, come up with some interactive videos, pathway scripts. And it did.
Wow.
So I got my typical, background starting point. And then it started coming up with the different scenes and even the various choices that I could have.
I can tell you right now, Daniel, that my two colleagues that work in this business, we're going to be watching this a lot. I'm taking a lot of notes because it's such an eye opener.
Oh, yeah. And it all comes down to giving the proper prompts.
Mm-hmm.
And also I could do the same thing in Claude, and Claude will give me different results.
Yeah, I've never used Claude. I have to go check that out.
Yeah, they also have a free and paid version.
Okay.
And they recently had a new release that there are many are saying, hey, it actually is surpassing ChatGPT 4.
Okay. So I definitely need to take a look at that.
Yeah. And of course, these companies, these two and many other companies, like I said, there's Perplexity, Poe, many others. Mm-hmm. And Poe, for instance, actually lets you choose which engine and model you want to use.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's sort of like a hub of different AIs that you can choose from. And Perplexity also, and there are actually some other hubs out there. And then there's some other models that are out there that use a whole different approach. And in particular, there's one that is running like 10 to 50 times faster than ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
Like the way you see if I was running this live, sort of the characters kind of like go across like someone's typing. With this other one, the whole thing just appears.
Wow.
They actually designed a custom chip for their engine, and it's pretty darn incredible. You'll be hearing more about it, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Something else that we're playing with. So there's so much going on in the field.
Yeah, and Daniel, I know because you're always so far ahead of everyone else in doing this stuff.
And it all comes down to trying to benefit the client. I gave actually an in-person talk about AI in front of another particular group. And this woman, during the Q&A, this woman stood up and she was like, how in the world do we keep track of all these developments happening so fast? And, the truth of the matter is, and I had to say, well, that's why you hire us.
That's right.
And hate to be maybe a self-commercial there, but
no, that's
or any AI knowledgeable person, because you're busy enough just trying to run the business. We have a whole mix of clients. So some clients that we take the approach, we'll show you as much as you want to see in terms of educating you about some of the technologies. And some people they want to dive in. And other people, they want to be totally hands off because they got their hands full as it is. But people appreciate the fact that we kind of take a different approach. Because some consultants are like, oh, only we can do this stuff, only we are on the pedestal. You just tell us what you want, and it, it happens. But I actually like to involve clients if they want to be involved. Because in a way, the more educated they are, they'll understand what it takes to make some of these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, a client gives you a request, and they think, "Oh, that should be a 10-minute project," and it's a 3-month project. And sometimes the reverse does happen too. They think, "Oh gosh, this is going to cost $1 zillion. This is going to take a year of development," and it turns out it's a 5-hour project.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
And I actually had that happen. Being an investigative reporter for this one particular client, she had a spreadsheet with over 300,000 rows that she was updating manually, and she had to look up things from 6 different systems.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I said. And from her frame of reference, she couldn't conceive of how that could be automated. How can you look up all these things and how can it fill in? And she was sort of resistant at first until basically upper management were like, that report you've been working on for the last 6 weeks, we need it tomorrow.
Well, I know. I just fed in my business. I got to write my business plan recently.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, and I finally what convinced her to let us, take a look was I said, hey, you keep doing what you're doing and give us a copy and we'll go over here and do our thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one thing she didn't understand. She thought, oh, I'm going to have to stop doing everything until you come up with something. I said, no, we can do it in parallel. And it actually did turn out it was a 5-hour project.
Wow.
And it's saving her like 3.5 weeks of labor.
Wow.
She literally pushes a button and it happens.
Wow.
So that's where, educating a client can really come in handy. They'll appreciate you more for things that, may take some time. And also it gives them more ideas of how technology is going to apply to them. Because once again, you're only an investigative reporter. You don't know everything. You may not still know everything about that business, despite, all your questions that you keep asking.
Yeah. And
they'll think, oh, wow, I could use this over here. And they're like, they never even talk to you about that. Because once again, for them, it's 2 + 2. They do it every day. They don't even think to mention it. But then you show them some things that can happen. Like, oh, okay.
Daniel, I want to make sure that you get, because we're going to run on time. I want to make sure that you get any final thoughts in.
Well, let's see. What else did I want to show here if I have any time? Okay, yeah. So anyway, the interactive video basically came up all the different pathways. I also asked it, to write Facebook posts.
Oh, great.
And so on. I guess we're not going to may not have enough time to get to augmented reality, but let's see. Maybe I'll try to show you something real quick.
Oh, yeah.
You can find the right tab here. Or here, let's just use our own tab. Oh, and by the way, visit view3d.tv/links. That's our link directory. We actually have 2 specials for people attending, a video pathway special.
Yes, I saw
also
that.
A special for our AR business cards. And what is an AR business card, you may ask?
Oh, I remember you showing this to me. It's fascinating.
Yeah, so we created what we call an augmented reality business card. That's a still shot now because there's video playing, there's sound. My little avatar there is waving away at you, and it's totally interactive. So all these tiles you see here for Facebook, Twitter, even phone and email, and if you tap on Facebook tile there, it goes to our Facebook page.
Wow.
And so on. And I'll put this, that's a QR code that goes, I believe, right to the experience. You'll see questions, can I use your camera? Can I use your sensors? These are all normal requests. And eventually you'll see a launch button, and you press launch. It may take it a while to load, depending what kind of speed you have with your phone, depending whether you're on Wi-Fi or cell or whatever. And then you'll see a live image appear, and just tap the screen, and you can place like the AR business card like on your desk, on the floor, on your deck, wherever. And you'll see it appear. So for those, if you want to give it a try, there it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we didn't really get to talk about AR much.
But Daniel, we will, because I want you to come on the Dumont Digital Marketing Show so that we can do that and get you a little more time.
Okay, and here, let's for some other QR codes. The one here with the airplanes, that is the QR code for our link directory. So you don't have to type in link if you're on mobile.
Sure.
And the one that's really busy here on the left side, that's a QR V card, a V card in QR code format. That's why it's so dense with lots of dots. It has lots
Yeah.
and that's a way to add our information to your cell phone. You can add us as a contact. Now you would click on that, and then typically you would click on add to contacts and make sure you hit save. Otherwise, you're just otherwise you're just viewing it for the moment.
Yeah. Well, this is great, Daniel. And like I said, I really would. We've already featured you in the app, so everybody can see this. And we'll actually have the so we will have all of this. It will be in the app so that people can see it. And then, like I said, I would really love you to come on the show because we're just getting ready to launch it.
Super. See, now that's something else you can do with AI is actually show notes. Where you can come up with questions, Q&As from the transcript of the show. You can come up, give me the top 10 quotes in the show, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
What are the top 10 takeaways from the show? So there's a lot of repurposed content you can get from videos and podcasts, and we have an AI engine that does that.
Yeah, that's terrific because you can approach it in so many ways. So Daniel, thank you so much for coming back today. And if you guys didn't see Daniel's talk last night, go back and look at that too. So I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I appreciate you thinking of me.
Well, Daniel, like I always say, you blow my mind every time I talk to you. So listen, thank you so much. And we will talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Bye.